So before we get into actual content, I think it's important to talk about just a few changes, at least in the ground rules that I'm using for myself. So one, you've probably noticed that at somebody's request in making these videos easier to understand, I've started including subscripts or closed captions, and so that's something that I'm going to probably going to continue doing. Um, Another is that, and much has been made about this, but I have, of course, continued to not engage in this topic with anybody who has been, I would believe what I believe is an offender, um, except during non-school times. And so if you look at the academic calendar for Gordon Conwell, you'll see when the term is. Over the last year, I've started taking classes that often meet monthly. And so I'm going to kind of have, at least for myself and for receiving anything from you or from anybody who wants to communicate good or bad, or positively or negatively, um, sort of a soft down pedal or deceleration of how much I'm going to check what folks are saying, or whether I'm going to send any more videos or communications, um, starting at the beginning of the official term. But then when my first class actually starts is when the boom comes down, at least for me, and I'm not touching anything until after exams and final papers are turned in. Additionally, and I don't think anybody knows this, but I had a rule that for the last year and change, that my video recordings are one take, and unless I truly mess up and it's just unintelligible or something, I just do one take, and didn't have notes except for quotes and maybe a couple of items where I really wanted to make sure that the wording was exactly as it should be, or as I thought it should be. I still am going to be biased towards that approach, but as I step into a little bit more detail about the events that I've been talking about in general, I am going to get more specific. I'm going to be reading more quotes. I'm going to have more pre-written materials, and I'm going to care a little bit more, take a little, or rather, I should say, take a little bit more care with exactly how things are said. Still don't want to take too much time because it's pretty clear that this isn't something that should dominate my time. But it's I think that stepping into this new phase requires that of me. And finally, the new phase. Why do I say new phase? I'm and I think I've already mentioned something like this before, but just want to reaffirm. My thought over the last year was that people who are decision makers and people who are in leadership for the four C's are not informed, or at least not aware of an issue, and should be made more aware of an issue that they should delve a little bit more into. And it seems to me that actually now they must be aware of the issue, because I'm getting responses from some folks in leadership, but don't, for whatever reason, don't believe it's an issue. And so that changes a little bit how I think I'm going to approach my tone of communication, and some, I'm probably going to be a little bit more direct. And again, I've already promised I'm going to be a little bit more specific. So appreciate, again, as I navigate some of these changes in this new season, and at least for me, for how I'm leaning into this, the approach that I hope is most edifying. And just please pray for my heart, pray for the hearts of everybody who might hear or listen to or read what I think God has called me to continue engaging in. And yeah, I hope that this proves a meaningful exercise for anybody who decides to lean in. So appreciate your time. Thanks.